Hello and welcome here in Ewing, New Jersey at Moody Park for another edition of ECCBL Tuesday Night Baseball. Tonight we have the Trenton Generals hosting the South Jersey Kings. The two squads who moved over from the ACBL into this new ECCBL league are going at it here tonight. I'm Ben Chowdick. I'll be taking you through this game. Both these squads on 2-game losing streaks. They both went 0-2 in their doubleheaders on Saturday. So looking for their first win in over 5 days. The Generals are a squad that have struggled, to say the least, this season. They are 4th in the South and dead last in the entire league. Half a game behind 7th. Meanwhile, the Kings are 3rd in the South, and they're just half a game behind the Mammoths, who crushed the Trenton Capitals earlier today. And the Capitals are the #1 team in the South. On the mound is Andrew Kleppinger, and he's going to start things off with a strikeout here on Ty Mercado. We'll tell you a little bit about Kleppinger. He's played in 4 games so far, started only 1 of them, so this is his second start on the season. 10 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 17 hits and 10 earned runs. Walked 8 batters and struck out 6 of them for a nearly 7.0 ERA. So looking to bounce back here. His second start in the year, facing off against Brandon Prince. Prince grounds out over to Robert Kelly, who is playing second base today. And it brings on Vinny Davis. 2 up, 2 down so far here for the Kings. Davis, a premier hitter for them. A .345 average on the 16 games he's played so far this year. A double, a couple of triples, 13 RBIs. He's walked 10 times and struck out 9. Just recently committed to the University of Delaware about a week ago after playing some college ball at Manhattan. He's looking at a 2-1 count here. It's another hot day in Ewing. Not exactly scorching like we've had over the past week, but nonetheless. Definitely not something you're going to wear a jacket in. 3-1 count. Davis with the pink arm sleeve walks over for the 11th time this year, and will be the first runner on. So Vinny Davis has been gradually declining from a hot start he had. He was an over .450 average hitter for the Kings. Now, like I said, a little below .350. Gets on base there. Brings on Maffitori, who is headed to Belmont Abbey. Just wrapped up his high school season with Bridgewater Raritan. He's looking at a 1-1 count. So far, he's got a .273 average on the 4 games he's played, and off goes Davis over to second base, and he is in fairly easily. The throw from Soto behind the plate does not come in time. And this is an opportunity to introduce you to this Trenton field. You got Kleppinger on the mound, Soto behind the plate like I mentioned. Deacon Bound is over on first, Gavin West playing second, Robert Kelly at short, with Jackson Wargo over there on third. And it's Timmy Wright, Jake DeClerico, and Mark Elliott rounding out the field from left to right. The outfield, that is. A Trenton team that has had their struggles in terms of fielding so far this year. It's looking to have a clean game in this one. 1-2 count. Swung on over to West, who can make the play, and he will. Gavin West, talk about clean fielding. A Toyota player of the game from last week gets things going off right here. Gavin West flipping the script out in the field for the Generals. Your score is nothing on both sides, heading to the bottom of the first. Welcome you back here at the bottom of the first. Jake DeClerico starting things off with a weak grounder over to Ty Mercado. Mercado fumbling with it a little bit, but he gets the throw in there in time. Vinny Davis making the catch over on first base. So DeClerico on the first pitch is out against Luke Hinkle, who was in his 5th game of work and his 3rd start on the year. He's been a highly used pitcher so far for the Kings this year. Through those 4 games, pitched 12 innings, allowed 10 hits, and only 2 earned runs. He walked 5 batters, struck out 4 of them, and it all comes out to just a 1.50 ERA. He's facing off against Timmy Wright, who fouls that one off to give himself a 1-2 count. Timmy Wright heading into his senior season at Kane University. Now looking at a 2-2. He played 15 games so far this summer. Played 14 games in the spring with Kane, where he had a .450 average, but strikes out right there looking. The fastball from Luke Hinkle. And boy, is he looking good early on here in this one. Just 5 pitches in, 2 batters down, brings on Deacon Bound. Deacon Bound is going to fly that one up. It's going to be chased down by Longo, who makes the catch. It dropped a lot quicker than any of the right side fielders thought it would, but regardless, Peter Longo making the catch out from right field. And a quick 7-pitch inning, 3 up, 3 down here for Luke Hinkle and company. Heading into the top of the second, all knotted up at nothing. We'll see you there. Back here in the top of the second, it was a 7-up, 6-down first inning. Vinny Davis, the only man to get on base for both squads when he walked. And it brings on the man, Peter Longo, who just made that athletic grab out in right field. Turned into a bit of a blooper with how quickly it was dropping, but the unorthodox dive brought in the third out of the bottom of the first. Now here we are, Kleppinger with his 20th pitch. 17-pitch first inning compared to Hinkle's 7-pitch first inning. And boy, the Kings look good defensively in that one, but albeit so did the Generals. So here we are in the second. Score is tied 0s. Now it's a bit out there. So a 2-2 count here for Longo. And Peter Longo is just 3 for 11 on the year. Only played a couple games for the Kings, a late join. He's 3 for 11 with a walk, and he struck out 4 times. Looks like he just took one to the chest or maybe elbow right there. So that'll be the second runner on, combined for both squads here in this one.
Number 2, second baseman Antonio Friedman.
So on the 2-2 pitch, Longo gets hit and is over there on first. And that brings up Antonio Friedman, who is heading into his freshman season at Mercer County College. Off goes Longo. The throw from Soto is way high. Kelly got behind it to not allow it to go all the way into center field. But regardless, Longo is well safe over there on second. It's now Friedman with the 1-0 count. Played in 9 games so far for the Kings with just a 125 average. This one, right down the middle. It's going to be gotten by Kelly. Kelly makes the play over to first for out number 1. Longo advancing to third. And he'll stay there with 1 out on the board. And Myers up at the plate.
Number 9, the DH, Trevor Myers.
So Trevor Myers. I'm sorry, excuse me. Friedman is headed off to Middlesex County College, just like Trevor Myers. He'll be heading into his sophomore season, while Friedman will just be starting out in his freshman year. So here's Myers. He's got Longo on third. Another man who's played a good amount of games and still a below 200 average, 167 to be specific. Got a couple RBIs, 7 walks, and 11 strikeouts on the year. He's staring on a 1-1 count. Here's Kleppinger on the mound. Now over 25 pitches here in the first couple of innings. That one's going to be low and in the dirt. So Trevor Myers has seen his fair share of at-bats and his fair share of playing time in his ECCBL games. And he's had his struggles. And it seems as though it's a trend with many of the catchers we see on these Generals and Kings teams that, I mean, boy, behind the plate, they look real solid, but with the bat in their hands, it's not happening so far this summer, and that continues there for Myers as he strikes out looking. The fastball was inside, but in there. For out number 2, bringing on the actual catcher, Joey Socorro. Myers is a designated hitter here today, and Socorro will be the man behind the plate, or is the man behind the plate, I should say, for the Kings. And Joey Socorro, an over 350 average at Mercer County College this past year. But like I said, with these catchers so far this summer, he's played 12 games and has just a 150. Heading in to the bottom of the second. Stay with us, and we'll see you there. So some excellent fielding so far here on this Tuesday night for both squads. But for the Kings in the first inning, it was excellent fielding and excellent pitching. Luke Hinkle is back there on the mound. Facing off against Gavin West. As I said before, West is a previous Toyota Player of the Game for us. He won that award during a weeknight game last week. And right here he's looking at a 1-2 count after that ball. Gavin West, through 11 games, has an over 200 average. He's going to ground that one over to Mercado. And Mercado threw the ball just a little bit too far for Vinny Davis. Davis still got behind it, but he was forced to take his foot off the bag. So Gavin West will be safe over there on first.
Number 7, shortstop Robert Kelly.
And we have our first hit of the day. Yeah, if it was an accurate throw, he would have been out. So I guess so, yeah.
That's my only thing. It was a hard play.
And after a little conversation up here in the booth, we're actually going to count that as an error. So still no hits yet on the day. Mercado, like I said, threw that one, and it forced Davis to get off. So instead, now we're looking at Robert Kelly. West still over there on first. The hit and error situation doesn't change that. Kelly's looking at a 3-0 count. A couple of players who made some incredible plays out in the field for the Generals were West and Kelly. And here they are, out in the field together right now. Hinkle going to try to fight back. At a 3-0 count, make it a 3-1. And the pickoff attempt is unsuccessful. He read it right, but the throw went right over Davis's head, and around goes West to third. Right game plan, but poor execution there. Hinkle's spidey senses were tingling, but he couldn't make the throw. And right after that, Kelly grounds out, goes straight to Davis, who made sure to keep West over there on third.
Number 8, third baseman Jackson Wargo.
So now here's Jackson Wargo. This is his 14th game on the year. Through 13, he's got a 289 average. He's gotten one extra base hit. It was a double. He's walked 8 times, struck out 3. Along with 4 stolen bases. He did not play in his freshman season at Longwood University. He'll be heading into his sophomore season. The third baseman here for the Generals today. That one goes straight over to Mercado, who makes the snag for out number 2. Little short flyer.
Number 11, catcher Christian Soto.
And Wargo heads back to the dugout. Brings on Christian Soto. The Generals catcher. Now, I mentioned catchers before. Soto probably is at the top of the bunch when it comes to having the bat in his hands. He was over 350 to start the year, but a nice little bloop route into right center gets him on base and brings home Gavin West. Just as I was talking about how he was declining in terms of the bat being in his hands so far this summer, he proves me wrong right there.
Number 1, right fielder Mark Elliott.
And the first run of the game comes home for the Generals, and they take a 1-0 lead. Brings on Mark Elliott. wearing the number 1 on his pinstripe jersey with orange lettering. This is his 10th game for the Generals this summer. Got just about a 300 average, 292 to be exact, but a 900 OPS. That's thanks to his 1 double and 2 triples so far on the year. He's got 11 RBIs with 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. And boy, did he have a sophomore season at Westchester University. A 417 average with a triple and a home run to show for it. 11 RBIs and 4 walks through 17 games. He's battling a 1-2 count after that foul ball. This one is grounded right over to Friedman. Friedman, no one's there to get home at first base, but the play will be made as Vinny Davis races over. Gets a foot on the bag, gets the ball in his glove, and out number 3 is had. But the Generals take a early 1-0 lead after 2. We'll see you in the 3rd inning. Now here in the 3rd inning, Generals holding on to that 1-0 lead. This 3rd inning is brought to you by Wildflowers Inn Restaurant. They are located right on the Circle in Pennington, New Jersey, and they're one of the best casual dining experiences offered in town. Wildflower Inn Restaurant offers a wide variety of food and some of the best pizza you'll ever taste. So stop by after the game tonight, or walk in there with the stream on your phone and don't miss a second if you're really that hungry. Wildflowers Inn Restaurant. Call 609-737-2392 for more information or to book a reservation. Wildflowers Inn Restaurant. They are bringing you this 3rd inning of action where Michael Kulik is up at the plate. Staring down a 1-1 count. Klippinger a little over 30 pitches in this one. Here in the 3rd inning. Kulik just barely over a 200 average on the summer. Through 12 games played, he's got 205. On his 8 hits, 2 of them have been doubles. Walked 6 times, and he struck out 18 times. Kulik somehow makes contact on that one. Over comes Wargo. Can Wargo make the catch? Or the throw, rather. And he can. Boy, this infield is something else right now for the Generals. Kulik made contact with the grip of his bat on that one. That's why it almost looked like a bunt. But over comes Wargo to get the first out of the inning. So return to the top of the order. Ty Mercado comes back up to the plate. He struck out in his first at-bat. This time he's going to fly out to right field where Mark Elliott will make the routine grab in the shadow and give us out number 2. And the Generals on the field made a very, very early change. Soto, who just got the RBI single to put the first run on the board in the bottom of the second, is no longer their catcher. In comes Braden Mezgel. So a very interesting fielding change right there from Mike Coryell and company. We'll see how it works out for the Generals. Brandon Prince back on. He grounded out to Kelly earlier. We've got 2 outs on the board. Klepinger's still on the mound. He's been looking solid so far for the Gens. And Prince, that one was right down the middle, and he thought about it for a second, but didn't eventually come around, but doesn't matter. He's looking at a 1-2 count. And he's fouled that one off out into the parking lot. Once again, you hope no cars are over there. Looks like it bounced safe of any vehicles. And for anyone watching this summer, may think we're crazy whenever we say that, because it hasn't happened yet. But if you were listening to us last summer, every now and then you hear that crash of the glass, and you just know the worst is happening. He's going to ground one right over to Deacon Bound, who makes the play at first. And another real quick inning where the Generals are in the field. It's not something we say too often, but it is something we are happy to say more. Generals lead 1-0 heading into the bottom of the third. We'll see you there.
Logan Eilbacher.
Here in the bottom of the third for the Generals, still not through the batting order just yet. We're here at the bottom with Logan Eilbacher. The brother of Lance Eilbacher. He just started playing recently, though. Joined the team late. He's just 2 games in. And there's a 160 average in them. He's got a nice solid 3-0 count. Make that a 4-0, and he's going to walk himself over to first base. His second walk on the summer.
Number 2, center fielder, Jake DeClarico.
And it brings us back to the top with Jake DeClarico, who grounds it out to the shortstop Ty Mercado in the first inning. DeClarico been real solid this summer. Going for the bunt attempt right there. And through 14 games, 326 average with a 747 OPS. That's thanks to his 2 doubles so far. He's got a 1-1 count facing off against Hinkle, who's just now reaching 30 pitches. and make that a 2-1. So no outs here in the bottom of the third. The Generals are looking for their 7th win on the season. They are 6-10-1 at the moment, while the Kings are 7-9-1. That one's going to go straight out to center field. The line drive is caught by Kulik for out number 1. So there goes to Clerico. Albacher still waiting on first base. Brings up Timmy Wright, who struck out in the first inning. That was where Hinkle went 7 pitches, 3 up, 3 down. But this one is going to go out into right field. Longo chasing it down, and Longo making the catch for out number 2. So they slipped up, or Hinkle rather slipped up, letting Albacher on 4-pitch walk, I should say. But 2 batters later, 2 outs are on the board now. And here is Deacon Bound, who did exactly what Timmy Wright did in his first at-bat. He flew out to Peter Longo. And now here he is with a 1-0 count against Hinkle, with Albacher on first, Logan Albacher, that is. A big hack right there for Bound. He's going to take a little walk around the base, collect himself, and come back up for this 1-1. That was down the middle below. So here's the 2-1. Deacon Bound this past spring at Hunton High School had a .323 average, and he's going to increase his average with that grounder, finding the gap between Fattori and Mercado and going out into left field, pushing Albacher over to second, and on comes Gavin West. Nice solid smack from Bound there. Brings on West, who reached on an error in his first at-bat, which was in the second inning. He's going to foul that one off. Once again, heading over into the parking lot. And he'll do the same exact thing right here. Couple of the exact same fly foul balls out behind us. And he's looking at an 0-2 count. He's got Bowen on first, Albacher over there on second, with 2 outs on the board. Swinging a miss there from West. Nice little breaking ball from Hinkle, and a sigh of relief from him as well. Coming off after letting a couple runners on and leaving them out there. The Generals still lead 1-0. Now heading into the 4th. welcome you here. It's the top of the fourth here at Moody Park. Ben Chadwick here.
First baseman, number 30, Vinny.
I'm taking you through this one nearing the halfway point. Generals hold a 1-0 lead over the South Jersey Kings. It's Vinny Davis up at the plate with a big rip on his right leg of his pants. And he's a big, strong-looking dude. But you imagine that was from sliding when he stole a base earlier in the first inning. Starts off with a 1-1 counter for taking a ball and fouling that one off back towards us. Kleppinger a little over 40 pitches. He's still on the mound. No one warming up for either side in the bullpen. It has been a well-pitched game, but both are nearing the 50-pitch count mark, which sometimes we see is the limit for some guys, but it appears not to be for the two we've been watching today. 1-2 count now as Davis left that called strike. Again, a .345 hitter here for the Kings, one of their best. Looked like he nearly struck out there, but just made a little bit of contact to keep the at-bat going with this one, too. A little bit of wind out here in Ewing, not too much, shouldn't affect the game. We've seen games where it has. Davis, grounder over to Kelly. Robert Kelly making the throw from short over to first for out number 1 here in the 4th inning. And Kelly has been pure so far today at shortstop. So that out brings on Matthew Fattori, who grounded out in his first at-bat. Over to Gavin West over there on second base. And now here he is for his second at-bat of the day. The cleanup hitter. Had a .436 average at Bridgewater Raritan in the spring. Had 34 hits. 5 of them being doubles, 1 of them a homer. And boy, was he solid for them. But struggling in this at-bat right here. A couple swing and misses for a 1-2 count. As I mentioned before, committed to Belmont Abbey College. And that one is in there. The fastball for out number 2, Andrew Kleppinger. On his 50th pitch. Gets another strikeout here in this one.
Number 40, right fielder, Peter Longo.
Andrew Kleppinger, his 3rd strikeout of the game. Boys, he looks solid. Here's Peter Longo. He was hit by a Kleppinger pitch in his first plate appearance. Looked like he was about to get hit one by another one right there. Dodged out of the way of it for ball number 1. Does a little bit of the same right there, too. 2-0. Here for Longo, got the Fairleigh Dickinson helmet on. In case you couldn't guess, yes, he is heading to Fairleigh Dickinson next year for his freshman season. He's going to pop that one up. Over comes Deacon Bound, making the grab. And how about the Generals on defense? Boy, have they looked solid.
No runs, no hits. There were no errors and none left.
I've still not allowed a single Kings hit so far in this one. And we move on to the bottom of the 4th. Generals look to add on to their 1-0 lead. And we'll see you there. Welcome back here. It's the bottom of the fourth. Robert Kelly up at the plate. We've been seeing him at shortstop making a lot of good plays so far for the Generals, similar to their entire infield in this one. He's going to ground over to Mercado. Mercado makes the throw over a little bit high, but the catch is made by Vinny Davis for out number 1 on the 0-2 count. So Kelly now 0 for 2 on the day. Not something we often see from him. Got a 635 OPS on the year. And through the first few games, he was a 500 hitter. But has slowly but surely been dropping ever since then. That's 4 straight strikes from Luke Hinkle. Now, this first one against Wargo, putting him in an 0-1. Make that another 5 straight. 0-2 count for Wargo, both of them looking. Can Hinkle keep it going? Another one swung on. Might have been a ball, but hey, who am I to judge? So I'm not going to say that the streak is over. As that one's fouled off. Hinkle nearing 50 pitches, not quite there yet. And there is the end of the streak, for anyone wondering. That one getting past the Coro on the right side. So Jackson Wargo looking at the 1-2 count. He's played in 13 games so far on near 300 hitter. He's going to fly that one out into center field. Michael Kulik looking for out number 2, and he makes the grab for it. And boy, have both these pitchers and fielding units looked real solid today at Moody Park. Braden Mesgall, his first at-bat of the day. Reminder, he subbed in for Christian Soto earlier. Now here he is with a weak grounder. Dancing along the left field line. Finally goes out. Mesgall was just above a 200 average through the first 5 games. Now a near 300 hitter. 286 to be exact. On his 6 hits, he has 1 double. 3 RBIs, walked 4 times, struck out 3 times. 0-1 count turned into a 1-1. Looked like it might have even hit him on the foot, but he won't advance. He's just going to take that 1-1 count. That was on Hinkle's 50th pitch. We've seen 2 combined hits today. Both were from Trenton. But we've seen a lot of innings like this. 2 outs, no one on, and no run scored. And there is strike number 2. 2-2 count here with a couple of outs as well. Mesgall from Bordentown, New Jersey. Pops that one way up. Chased down by Socorro and Davis. Davis gets under it near the dugout and makes the grab. Scooping it up. Out of the air. Putting a little pizzazz on the foul out. And that's out number 3. And boy, through 4. Both these teams have looked really solid defensively, and both teams have also struggled to get balls in play and runners on base. Generals lead 1-0 heading into the 5th. Welcome in
Off for the Kings.
to the fifth inning,
Baseman, number 2.
where the Generals lead 1-0, and this fifth inning is brought to you by DFG Financial Group. DFG Financial Group is a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, located in Hamilton, New Jersey. DFG Financial Group is equipped to handle all of your personal and business financial planning and services that you could possibly need. That is DFG Financial Group. Andrew Kleppinger, still on the mound, just a little over 50 pitches through 4 innings pitched. This is his fifth. James Waters is out there warming up for the Generals. Wonder when we could see him, maybe after this inning. But regardless, no hits have been allowed just yet by Kleppinger. Here's one made contact over to Wargo at third, and Wargo makes the nice and clean throw over to first base for out number 1. That was Antonio Friedman up at the plate.
Number 9, the DH, Trevor Myers.
Brings on Trevor Myers. He struck out in his first at-bat. He left Longo stranded over there on third. And right on this one, Wargo struggles with it on third base, and that's going to be an E5 on him, as Myers gets on base for the first time today.
Number 31, catcher Joey Socorro.
So still technically no hits allowed yet for Kleppinger, but we know what happened when one runner got on. Longo went all the way around to third. Didn't come home, but still a scare for the Generals. So that could have tied the game up. Myers is your designated hitter. We've seen him play catcher a lot. Here is your actual catcher, Joey Socorro, who grounded out over to Robert Kelly to end off the top of the second. And his bat goes flying. And it's broken as well, but that ball was in play. And a crazy play. Crazy double play. An unassisted double play, Gavin West. We're going to take you through exactly what just happened. Socorro's bat snapped in half. The upper half flew out of the park. The ball somehow was in play. It dropped right down. West got a hand of it, and he walked over to first base where Myers was standing the entire time thinking that the ball was foul. So he collectively got Myers out at first, Socorro as well out at first. And just like that, that's the end of the top of the fifth. So the solo double play for Gavin West ends the top of the fifth, keeps the Generals up 1-0. And there's a new pitcher out there for the Kings. Stay tuned as we head into the bottom of the fifth. So after a wild finish to the top of the fifth, here we are in the bottom. And it's a new pitcher out there for the Kings, Gavin Alloway. In relief for his first inning of work. Facing off against Mark Elliott, he replaces Luke Hinkle, who threw 4 innings, threw 53 pitches, 35 of them being strikes. Allowed 2 hits, 1 run came in while he was on the mound. It was not earned due to error. He walked 1 batter, struck out 2, so not a bad outing at all for Hinkle. But after those 50 pitches, like I mentioned, some guys have that limit. And you assume that is the case here. It's Mark Elliott up at the plate, looking at a 2-1 count. He grounded out to Friedman in his first at-bat. He's batting 8th in the order. He's going to foul that one off for a 2-2 count now. And Alloway, as we mentioned, now on the mound, he started in 3 games so far this summer and threw 8 innings. He allowed 5 hits, walked 7 batters, struck out 5 of them, allowed 5 earned runs as well, coming out to a 4.37 ERA. Elliott, little shot is going to get down into left field as he gets on base for the first time today and starts off Alloway with a hit.
Number 5, the DH, Logan Eilbacher.
The fly ball gets down in front of Prince. Brings on Logan Eilbacher. He walked in his first at-bat. And we mentioned before, I was just a few games in to his stint here with the Generals, this being his 3rd game exactly. And boy, did he have an incredible spring at Catholic University. His freshman season with them, he won Landmark Conference Rookie of the Year. As he fouls that one off, he's got an 0-2 count. If you're wondering what kind of stat line earned him that recognition, he had a .356 average on 48 hits. 18 of them were doubles, had 1 triple, and 8 homers. 35 RBIs, 14 walks, and stole 5 bases. Was also an all-Landmark honorable mention, but he's striking out here swinging. That ball was way out there. Socorro had to go out of his way to snag it, but Eilbacher still swinging. So the first out on the board, you got Elliott over there on first after he singled out into left field, and it brings on Jake DeClerico, who is 0 for 2 on the day and looking to get on base for the first time. Generals look to add on to their 1-0 lead. Off goes Elliott over to second. Socorro with the throw over. It was close, but Elliott will be safe. A nice throw, but Elliott got a big lead, and it was off to the races well before the pitch even came in from Alloway. And Socorro going to walk up and have a word with his pitcher, while Elliott and Mercado dap up out there over at second base and have a little talk, which is always good to see here in the ECCBL. These guys, most of them from New Jersey, especially across these 2 teams with Trenton and South Jersey. So it's always cool, and guys know each other, and they're on different teams, but the love is still there, which is something we see quite often here in the ECCBL. Here's the 1-0 for DeClerico. It's low and in the dirt. Jake DeClerico has been real solid. Last summer in the ACBL, he had a .263 average. This summer, across 14 games, got a .326 average. He starts off his count 3-0. He's only walked 4 times so far. He walked 12 times last summer across 28 games. So not exactly part of how he gets on base. Swung on here over to the third baseman, Fattori. And Fattori makes the throw over to first. Off goes Elliott to third. And Elliott is safe on third and rounding third now, as that throw is an error from Vinny Davis. And Elliott comes home for the second run of the day for the Generals. Whole lot going out on the field. Second out comes in, second run comes in.
Number 3, left fielder, Tim Wright.
So DeClerico with the ground out to Fator. But the error on Davis on the throw causes Elliott to come home. And it brings on Timmy Wright, with his team now leading 2-0. Wright is 0 for 2 on the day, most recently lining out to Longo out in right field. He'll start himself off with a 2-0 count. Timmy Wright, as I mentioned, has walked 4 times but struck out 11 times so far this year. 5 of them were him being caught looking. And make it a 3-0 count here for Wright. Alloway on the mound. He's got one more out to go. He's 15 pitches in to his relief in this one. And he walks right. The 4-pitch walk bring on Deacon Bound.
Number 17.
And Bound most recently singled. He found the gap between Fattori and Mercado, and it went out into left field to Prince. He is 1 for 2 on the day. Batting third. In the order, he's got Wright on first and 2 outs to work with. It's a called strike 1, Alloway. It's his first strike in 5 pitches. Here's the 0-1 to Bound. It's fouled off back towards us here, so an 0-2 now. Bound heading to Bucknell University for his freshman season. As I mentioned, for the Hun School, he had an over 300 average with 18 RBIs as well and 15 walks. So far this summer, he's looked real solid as well. That pitch is in, and Socorro was watching Wright steal second. Looked like he had a little bit of trouble getting the ball out of his glove to make the throw, so he just holds on to it. So now Wright in scoring position. A good hit from Bound can make this a 3-0 lead. 2-2 count for him. This is his 12th game for the Generals. 258 average. He's walked 8 times and struck out 5 times. Facing down a 2-2 count here with a couple of outs as well in the bottom of the 5th. This one goes right over to Mercado, and Mercado makes the throw to third. And the out is made, but a difficult out at that. Mercado throwing to Fator, and Fattori making a good play over on third base to get Timmy Wright out. For out number 3, leaving Wright stranded. The Generals lead 2-0. After 5, getting Elliott to come home, making their lead a little bit more comfortable. Not exactly comfortable as is, but hey, maybe any type of lead is comfortable when you got a guy like Andrew Kleppinger pitching the way he is on the mound. And we'll see him back out there as we bring you to the top of the 6th. Don't go anywhere. We apologize for the delayed start. Just figuring out a few fielding changes here for the Generals, which I will fill you in on right now. Over on first base is going to be Jeremy Cheeseman. Now, and the second baseman will be Giuseppe Arcuri. Kelly is still out there on shortstop. Gavin West moves over to third base. Ryan Hasdovic is out there in left field now, with Logan Allbacher moving to center field. And Mark Elliott remains on right field, and so does Andrew Kleppinger out on the mound. Things started off with a Michael Kulik double, and he had a bit of an injury timeout as he slid into second. That wasn't an error in center field for the. So now Kulik in scoring position with Ty Mercado up at the plate. The leadoff batter is 0 for 2. He's going to look at a 1-0 count. That one is going to get away from Mezgel. The wild pitch advances Kulik over to third. Kleppinger is over 60 pitches, I mentioned before. They do have a man warming up. That man is James Waters, who has played in 3 games so far this summer. And it looks like he'll be seeing his 4th in a little bit here tonight. So now the 2-0 count for Mercado. Still looking to get on base for the first time here today. Now in the 6th inning, a hard chopper goes right over the head of Kleppinger. Goes to Arcuri, though, and Arcuri cannot make the throw. He was running against the wind there. And away from first base as well. So all that going on allows Kulik to come home and make this just a 2-1 lead for the Generals here in the top of the 6th.
Number 1, left fielder, Brandon Prince.
Brings on Brandon Prince second in the order. Another man who was also 0 for 2 today, Mercado, just got his first hit. Prince looking to do the same right here. And Mercado gets stuck and caught over there. But it was a great decision by him. Hesitated just enough. He was getting run down by Kleppinger, but he made it back safe in first. Boy, it looks like both of them were hesitating. It was Mercado over there on first, seeing where he should run, and Kleppinger with the ball in his hands, seeing where he should throw. But eventually Mercado won that face-off. So Brandon Prince with a 0-1 count. The pitch comes in. Mercado is safe over there on second. It was a really nice throw from Mezgel. Mercado too quick for him. So an 0-2 count now here for Prince, who in 9 games has just a 111 average. Here in his 10th game, he's 0 for 2. Fouling that one off, and he's looking down an 0-2 count as well. And last season for Scranton, he had 7 at-bats, had 4 hits on those 7 at-bats with a couple RBIs and 4 runs as well. Not a big sample size, but made the most of it. That one's going to be a hard grounder over to Cheeseman, who makes the play. Hop nearly got over him, but the big and tall Jeremy Cheeseman was able to get behind it, sitting at 6'2", 200. So it advances Mercado over to third. Now there's 1 out on the board. Brings on Vinny Davis, who was hit earlier and is 0 for 1. One of the most prolific hitters on this King squad, on near 900 OPS. Ranks as the 3rd best third baseman in the class of 2023, and that 3rd best third baseman grounded right up the middle for an RBI single and tying this game up at 2. Vinny Davis with his first hit on the day, making it count. Brings home Mercado. He's over there on first, and that might be it for Andrew Kleppinger, who came into the inning with a no-hitter and quickly lost it with how the Kings have been playing. So with the pitching change coming, Waters comes out of the bullpen and heads over to the mound. He'll get his warm-ups in, and we'll give you a quick break and be right back. Here in the top of the sixth, there's one out on the board, and we now have a tie ball game here at Moody Park. Don't go anywhere. So as we mentioned before, James Waters is out there on the mound now for Trenton. Kleppinger coming out. I mentioned he was throwing a no-hitter coming into the sixth inning and then allows 3 hits, 2 runs. Both of them being earned as well. Pitched 5 1/3 inning pitched. Or through 5 1/3 inning pitch, I should say. He had 68 pitches, 42 of them being strikes. Like I said, 3 hits and 2 earned runs. Walked 1 batter, struck out 3, hit 1 as well. So boy, was it a real solid day coming into this inning for Kleppinger. You still got to give him his flowers after. But fell apart a little bit, and in comes James Waters. And Waters, this is 4th game he is playing for the Generals. A little over 11 innings pitched. He's credited. Jeez, stumbling over my words here. I don't have my color commentator to make fun of me, which is great. He's credited with 1 loss. He's allowed 13 hits and 12 earned runs. Has walked 5 batters and struck out 6 for a 7.41 ERA. It's Matt Fattori going over to Arcuri, and Arcuri makes the play for the out. And the fielders are coming off. That was out number 3 here in the top of the 6th. Vinny Davis is out over there on first after the double play is made by Giorgio Arcuri. But the Kings tying things up here at 2. And boy, do we have an interesting 2.5 innings left for you. Kings 2, Generals 2, heading into the bottom of the 6th. Another pitching change out there for the Kings. Nick Mateo is now on the mound for South Jersey, replacing Gavin Alloway after his 1 inning of work. Mateo has played in 3 games. This is his 4th, facing off against West, who fouls that one off to the left. And in those 3 games, pitched 8 innings, allowed 5 hits, 4 earned runs, walked 6 batters, struck out 3 of them. And he's got a 4.50 ERA on the season. Just finished his freshman season at Immaculata University, where he pitched just 2 innings, allowed 2 hits and 1 earned run. So looking for more playing time with them this coming spring. But so far this summer, seen his fair share of mound visits in the black and purple. Gavin West, a man who is 0 for 2 on the day. That one really getting away from Mateo, who stares right down at his hand after throwing that one. And Gavin West having himself a little chuckle over there with the bat in his hands on the left side of the plate. The Generals out in those white uniforms with the orange pinstripes and lettering. And the Kings with the purple hats, black jerseys, and gray pants. West now with a 3-1. As I've mentioned before, former Toyota Player of the Game for the Generals, won that last week. He's 0 for 2 so far today, but a big hit can maybe put him in the running once again. Instead of a big hit, he won't get walked. I was getting ready to let you guys know that he was heading over to first base. Instead, we got a full count. Called strike 2. So here's the full count. Really reaching for it was West. He's going to foul it off. Gavin West has walked 5 times and struck out only 3 times so far in the 11 games he played coming into today. Chance to do either right here. Or he can get a ground out. Goes right over to Friedman, and Friedman makes the throw over to Davis for out number 1. The grounder to second base. Brings on Robert Kelly.
Number 7, shortstop, Robert Kelly.
Robert Kelly, similar to West. They've both been incredible out there in the field, but both are 0-2. West now 0-3 on the day. 0-4-3 rather. Kelly trying to make it 1 for 3. Mateo throwing hard. Still looking to get control over some of these pitches, and boy, he is really whipping it when he comes around on his throwing motion. That one fouled off by Kelly. It's a loaded bullpen out there in right field for the Kings. We saw it before. And it makes sense now. We saw Alloway pitch 1 inning, and now we have Mateo for the inning right after it. While Hinkle was out there, it looked like there were 5 or 6 guys. Now there's 3 guys out there just watching the game. So you wonder if the Kings are going to really start running through pitchers here, or if they're going to try and stick with 1. Robert Kelly is facing a 2-1 count here, the shortstop for the Generals. Headed off to Monmouth University for his freshman season with them. He's got a 3-1 count now. And this spring, graduated from Lawrence High School, where he had a .374 average in his senior season. With 21 RBIs, 5 doubles, and 4 triples, along with a homer. He also pitched 24 innings, only allowing a 2.04 ERA. So an all-around player is Robert Kelly. Pitched in 3 games as well this summer for the Generals. He's got a full count. And that one is in there. Nick Mateo with his first strikeout of the day on his second batter faced.
Number 15, second baseman Giuseppe Arcuri.
And it brings on Giuseppe Arcuri in place for Jackson Wargo here in the lineup. That one's going to go out to left center. Really trailing back is Prince, but eventually making the catch up against the fence for out number 3 here in the bottom of the 6th. Arcuri was ready to round all 4 bases for the solo homer. But Prince gets under it about 5 or 10 yards ahead of the fence. So all knotted up at 2, heading into the 7th inning. It's a good one in store for you here at Moody Park. And I'll be bringing you through all of it. Don't go anywhere, folks. Here in the top of the 7th, James Waters still on the mound. It's Peter Longo up at the plate here for South Jersey. He's 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch earlier today. Starts off with a 1-0 count. Gonna fly that one, or line it rather, along the right field line, but it just goes out. A little bit of a slice, if you will, to that hit. And yes, in case you're wondering, I have hopped on the golf train that it seems so many have this summer. Luckily for you, I don't know too much about it. Unlike my co-commentator, Jack Kemler, so you won't be hearing a little golf podcast from me right now. We're going to stick to ECCBL baseball here tonight. It's a 2-1 count here for Longo. Swung on right over to Robert Kelly. Kelly making the throw over to first, and another really clean and pure play from Robert Kelly over there on shortstop. Boy, this infield has looked real solid. They have 1 error on the day, which, not to throw shade, but is extremely low for some of the numbers we've seen put up from the Generals this year. So there's out number 1. Here in the top of the 7th. Antonio Friedman up at the plate. Still looking to get on base for the first time here today. He's 0 for 2. The fastball was close, but not quite close enough for Waters, so a 2-1 count. Antonio Friedman, as I mentioned, heading off to Middlesex County College. This past season for Notre Dame high school had a .339 average. 21 hits on his 62 at-bats. Looking at 3-0 count as well. 21 hits on his 62 at-bats, 12 RBIs. Walked 14 times as well. Had just 8 at-bats in 2023, but really came in to that starting role for Notre Dame this past spring. But now for the Kings, he's got just a .125 average and has only walked 5 times in the year compared to his 10 strikeouts. And he's looking at a 3-1 count after that called strike. Sorry, walking over to first, but realized it was called. So here's the pitch. Swung on out into left field. Ozdovic chasing it down, and it's just fouled. And boy, does that hurt. Antonio Friedman would have been his first time on base today, and it would have been at least a double for him. A couple of feet past the line, and he's back up at the plate for a full count. Waters catching a break. You can see him catching his breath a little too after nearly letting up that one. So here is the full count pitch with an out on the board and no one on for the South Jersey Kings in this tie ball game. And it's in there. For strike number 3, Antonio Friedman is baffled by the call. Thought it was outside. It was outside, but not quite far enough. Braden Mesgill chirping him a little bit on his way back to the dugout. Called strike 3. Brings up the second out. And Trevor Myers now up at the plate, nearly taking one right to the helmet. Another Middlesex County College player here. One that has actually played for them, just wrapped up his freshman year as opposed to Friedman heading there for his freshman season. Starts off with a 1-0 count. Myers, and also 0 for 2 on the day. And for Middlesex, in his freshman season, played just 3 games, had 9 at-bats and 1 hit in those 9 at-bats. Also got an RBI on that hit on the single. Another left fielder, but also goes straight to Ozdovic on that pop fly for out number 3. Generals possibly escaping what could have been the lead-taking inning for the Kings, but instead, it's a nice and easy 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the 7th, and they're going to look to take the lead in the bottom. And we're not going anywhere. This 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Northfield Bank. Northfield Bank is a full-service community bank with locations in New York and New Jersey. Each day, Northfield Bank upholds their mission to be the financial institution of choice for individuals and businesses by delivering innovative products and exceptional customer service. Do you need free checking, a home equity loan, or even personalized business banking? Well, give Northfield a call today. That is Northfield Bank, which is sponsoring the 7th inning stretch here. In this one, we are going to take a short break as Mateo takes a couple warm-up pitches. We'll be right back in a few seconds. Don't go anywhere, folks. A 2-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 7th. Braden Mesgill up at the plate. here for the Generals. First pitch is in there for a called strike one. A 2-2 game is fairly low scoring, especially for our ECCBL standards so far this summer. In fact, it'd be the lowest scoring game in terms of combined runs for the Generals across their schedule since June 1st. That is opening day, where they won 1-0 against Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And for the Kings, it would be their lowest scoring game since June 13th, when they won 2-0 over Mercer. And a reminder, that was at Mercer, so in terms of home games here at Moody Park, it once again go back to opening day, June 1st, where they won 3-1 over Quakertown, where it's a combined 4 runs there, and it's combined 4 runs here as well. Couple of called strikes and a couple of balls gives Braden Mesgill a 2-2 count here in the bottom of the 7th. Boy, it's been a really nice and clean game for both sides here at Moody Park as Mesgill fouls that one off. And the Kings do have 3 errors on the day, but they have not been exceptionally noticeable. Lights are shining bright, and the sun still is too here in Ewing, New Jersey. Hard pitches from Nick Mateo. We keep seeing this. Seems the harder he throws, the less control he has. That one outside for a full count pitch. And here is the 3-2 pitch for Mesgill. It was 0 for 1 on the day, just 1 at bat as he subbed in for Soto earlier. Swings on over to Fattori. Fattori struggling on third base. Can he make the throw? He cannot. Ball goes towards the fence. So struggled getting a handle of it, struggled on the throw. So you betcha, that's an E5. Over there on Matt Fattori. So Mesgill on first. Brings on Mark Elliott, the right fielder from Westchester University.
Number 1, right fielder, Mark Elliott.
And Elliott is 1 for 2 on the day. Got a single. Goes for the bunt attempt right there. Fouls it off. Looks like it hits Socorro right in the thigh, so he's going to shake it off. Little Taylor Swift mention for any of my Swifties out there. And the 0-1 count now. 22 pitches into his stint. This is Nick Mateo, 8 pitches, that is, into this inning. It's Mark Elliott up at the plate with Braden Mesgill over there on first. Tie ball game here at Moody Park. And that pitch is in there for strike number 2. Nick Mateo, when he gets control over those fastballs, he is humming with them. And they look hard to hit. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss there from Mark Elliott, and out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. Elliott, his 7th strikeout on the year compared to 3 walks. Brings on Logan Albacher, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. We mentioned how just flat out incredible he was this past spring at Catholic University. Landmark Conference Rookie of the Year. Has struggled in his first couple of games so far with the Generals, but then again, they are just his first couple of games, this being his 3rd game on the season. Fouls that one off, so here's the 0-1 count. Getting a little bit away from Mateo, who we mentioned is heading into his sophomore season at Immaculata University. Having a little chat. The infield umpire over there. 1-1 count, 1 out on the board. Seemingly the same pitch. Getting out of the way. Mike Coryell with the hand signals over to his base runner and his batter. They are always very intricate and seemingly confusing for me. You see him doing up and down, left and right. A seemingly specific number of claps at the end of each instruction, which must mean something, or maybe they're just a distraction to get people to think about them. I know I sure am. And maybe it works in the Kings too. Here's the 3-1 pitch and the walk. After that one goes high and inside. Couple of base runners. Socorro going to talk to his pitcher. There's 1 out on the board. Mezgel over there on second. Albacher now taking first. And Mezgel having a little chat with Freeman over there on second base. Like I said before, really always fun to see these guys having a good time out here. Having fun. Still obviously caring about the game. That's what we've seen today. Two teams that clearly won it, haven't won in a little while. 2-game losing streaks for both of them, and they're desperate to get back on the win column. Off goes Mezgel. He is safe over there on third, stealing third base. Albacher will also advance. 2 runners in scoring positions here for Lance Albacher. And now an 0-2 count here for Lance. It's his first at-bat of the day. Coming in for Jake DeClerico in the batting order. He's got 2 runners in scoring position. Prime opportunity to take the lead late in this one. That one nearly getting away. Could have been an RBI wild pitch. Instead, it's just a simple 1-2 count. We apologize for the camera issues. We'll try and get those fixed as soon as possible. Albacher over the head of Davis, and the RBI single gives the Generals a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Made contact with Davis's glove as he leaped out of the air to try and grab that one. Couldn't haul it in. So Lance Albacher in his first at-bat. An RBI single. Not a bad way to start off your day, Lance. Now Albacher will go and steal second. Ozdovic up at the plate, takes a called strike 1, still has 2 runners in scoring position. Like I said, this Albacher went over there and stole second with no threat from Socorro behind the plate. 0-1 count. Ostovic's first at bat of the day. That's going to get down. Another RBI single. At least 1 RBI. Albacher will get the stop call. And now 4-2 is your Generals lead. Ozdovic, a little blooper. That got right down before Prince could get it and before Mercado could back up and try and snag it out there in left center.
Number 14, first baseman, Jeremy Cheeseman.
German Cheeseman with his first at bat of the day. First, we're going to get a mound visit from the Kings and their coach And it looks like a pitching change as well. We'll take a quick break, try and get this camera fixed up for you so you can start to witness some of the craziness that we've been seeing here at Moody Park in the bottom of the 7th. We'll be right back. So we'll welcome you back. Still no camera for you folks, so actually we're going to try and figure this out real quick just so you could see what we're going with here in the bottom of the 7th. Give me 1 second, folks. And there you are. There's your camera. And you're going to be able to witness Lance Albacher coming home. A lot going on right there. And I'm going to try and walk you through it. Hasdovic was over there on first. It's Jeremy Cheeseman up at the plate. Hasdovic went to steal. Socorro thought about throwing it. He did not. He looked over to his left, saw Albacher inching forward a lot from third base. He made the throw over, and it goes right over the head of Fattori, which advances Albacher home, as well as advancing Hasdovic over there to third base. So here's the 1-1 count. A wild pitch from your new pitcher, Jason Doherty. Brings home the last base runner that was out there, Ryan Hasdovic. And boy, oh boy, what was a close game is now a 5-2 lead for the Trenton Generals here in the bottom of the 7th. 6-2 rather after that one run. So even better for them. And even worse for South Jersey. This one is going to be flown out by Cheeseman. Might be gone. Instead, it'll be Longo making the catch near the fence for out number 2. And boy, do they need that out number 3 to get out of this inning.
Number 13, third baseman Gavin West.
Brings on Gavin West. As his Generals have the 4-run lead here in the bottom of the 7th. West with no one on. 2 outs on the board. First pitch is far inside for ball number 1. West is 0 for 3 on the day. Still looking to get on base. Having a decent season. 229 average through 11 games coming into today. Closer to 200 after this 0 for 3 start. After that swing and a miss, it's a 1-1 count and a fouled off. Makes it a 1-2. So we'll tell you a little bit about that new pitcher, Jason Doherty. This is his 4th game. He's pitched 6 innings and a third coming into today. He allowed 4 hits and 2 earned runs. Walked 4 batters, struck out 4 batters. It all comes out to a 2.84 ERA for Jason Doherty, who is heading into his junior season at Rowan University. West flies that one out. Longo tracing it down once again, and Longo once again making the grab. This time for out number 3 to move us on to the 8th inning, but not before the Trenton Generals take a 6-2 lead, tack on 4 here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 more to go. We'll see you in the top of the 8th. Six outs left to go for the Kings to come back in this one. They now trail by 4 after having a tie ball game. Heading into the bottom of the 7th, we join you here in the top of the 8th with a whole different story. It's Joey Sikora with a hard chopper over to Robert Kelly. And out number 1 will not be made. It was a rough throw from Kelly over there on shortstop. He's going to get the E6 for that one. And Braden Meskel running over there to get the ball, having a little fun with Sikora, who ran past first base, and he tried to tag him, hoping for the out. Obviously was unsuccessful, as that is just not in the rules. On comes Michael Kulik, and away he goes, getting hit by that pitch and moving over to first base.
Number 16.
It's James Waters, who is still out there on the mound. This is his 3rd inning he has played in. He has 5 outs to his name. And with 2 runners on and no outs, Kings are really looking to come back here in this one. Ty Mercado got his first hit of the day in the last at-bat. Looking to get his second. He's got a 1-0 count. As I mentioned, 2 runners are on. We got a tie ball game at 6, which you now see on your scoreboard. Here's the 1-0. Seemingly the same exact pitch, fastball too far inside for the 2-0 now. And out comes an assistant coach here for the Generals. No one warming up. Byron Koo going to talk to his pitcher, James Waters. Like I said, no one in the bullpen, so we're going to have no substitution. But as I talk, we will also have a quick break. But don't go anywhere. The Kings are lurking, and they look to come back here in the top of the 8th. We'll be right back. I told you it'd be quick. Quick water break for myself as we bring you back to Ty Mercado's at bat. He's got a 2-0 count with 2 runners on and no outs. Seen the same exact pitch 3 straight times, a fastball inside. So make it a 3-0. There is the called strike 1. So now a 3-1 count. Waters looking to battle back in this count, with the Generals leading 6-2 over the Kings. Really nice contact for what looked to be another inside ball. So fouling it off gives Mercado a full count. And this is a big pitch for both sides right here. Still in the 8th inning. But late in the game, situations like this are massive, and loading the bases is even bigger now for the Kings. Mercado walks by the hands of Waters, and it brings on Brandon Prince, a man who has yet to get on base today. He's 0 for 3. As I mentioned, has had his struggles in the ECCBL so far this year. For Scranton in his freshman season, only saw 7 at-bats, but like I said, 4 hits in them. Came home on every single on-base appearance as well from those 4 hits, 4 runs and 2 RBIs, no walks, and no strikeouts. But this summer he's got a 111 average on 9 games, and it's dropping even lower here in his 10th game with that 0 for 3. He's got a 1-1 count after that foul ball. Bases are loaded. Here's the 1-1. It's a flying out foul. You can see Kulik over there on second. Mercado on third. And Socorro. Or Mercado on first, rather. And Socorro on third. And here is the matchup right now between Waters and Prince. The 1-2 is going to be fouled off once again. Waters now over 25 pitches here in his 3rd inning of work. Subbed in for Kleppinger in the middle of that 5th inning after he allowed 2 runs. This was going to be a hard chopper from Prince. It's going to be gotten by West, who makes a throw over but takes Cheeseman off the bag with the throw. So Socorro comes home and cuts the lead down to 3. 6-3 is the Trenton Generals lead. After the error from West. And now here's Vinny Davis. Bases loaded, no outs for him. Not the guy that James Waters wants to be seeing right now. Kulik now on third, Mercado now on second, and Prince reaches on first by an error. And it's Vinny Davis up at the plate. Looking at a 1-0 count. And fouls that one off for a 1. Just about 2 hours here into this game. If you're just joining us, this is in the top of the 8th. This was a game that was all tied up at 2 in the top of the 6th. And then a 4-run bottom of the 7th. Gave the Generals a 6-2 lead, but now it's 6-3. After Socorro just came home off of that error. Anthony Davis up at the plate with no outs, bases loaded. Looking at a 2-2 count after that high ball. He's fouled off 2. Making contact, not the right contact he wants though. And trust us, he knows how to make that right contact. Full count here for Davis. Still no one out there warming up for the Generals. It seems as though Waters is their man to finish off this game. Despite the bases loaded, no out situation. Davis still battling with those foul balls. 6 pitches into this at-bat. And still has that rip in his pants, which I'm sure you could see as we zoom in. That was from sliding much earlier in this game in the 2nd inning. This one's going to be swung on. Go right over to Arcuri. The double play is made by the Generals. Arcuri to Kelly and Kelly to Cheeseman. And that is massive. 2 outs now on the board. 1 more run comes in as Kulik came home. But that was seemingly unavoidable for the Generals. And the fly ball is Matthew Fattori, who was 0 for 3 on the day, and make that 0 for 4 as Albacher comes in and snags that one. So we are right back to a 2-run lead, which the Generals had before in this game, before that 6th inning. Well, they got it right back as the Kings add on 2 more here in the top of the 8th to trail by only 2 heading into the bottom. Generals 6, Kings 4. Jen's looking for some insurance runs here. Stay with us to see if they can get it on this Tuesday night of ECCBL baseball. Here in the bottom of the 8th, Kings Trail by only 2 after a 2-run top. A little bit of a sunset forming here. Beautiful night at Moody Park. And it's been a great game as well. Cotton candy skies, as I like to call them, here in Ewing, New Jersey. It's Robert Kelly up at the plate after the first ball, taking a called strike for a 1-1 count. Facing Jason Doherty again. Doherty got the 2 last outs in the bottom of the 7th when he came in for Nick Mateo. And now he's got a 2-2 count on Kelly, catching him swinging right there. That one's in there for the called strike. And the first strikeout of the day for Doherty.
Number 15, second baseman Giuseppe Arcuri.
So 2 more outs left to go here for the Generals in this inning and possibly the game. Giuseppe Arcuri, another substitution midway through this one, which we know Coach Coryell loves to do. Let's see if it comes out fruitful for him with Arcuri's at bat. Fouled the first one off. He's looking at a 0-1 count. He's got 1 out on the board. Ooh, breaking ball. Didn't break enough. As I mentioned, Jason Doherty heading into his junior season at Rowan University. The left-handed pitcher made 7 appearances in his sophomore season. He pitched just 4.2 innings, or 4 2/3 innings is what I really should say. Allowed 4 hits and 3 earned runs. Struck out 7 while only walking 2. That came out to a 5.79 ERA for him. He's got a 2-1 count on Arcuri right now. He just struck out Kelly. And the pop out over to Prince gives him the second out this inning. And Arcuri rounding the bases as he always does. He did last time as well when he had that fly out that's almost looked to go over the fence.
Number 45, catcher Braden Meskill.
So the high pop fly is a pop out over to Prince for out number 2. Braden Mesgill. Yet another substitution. He was the first of the substitutions. Came in just the second inning for Christian Soto behind the plate. Right after Soto. Or in the third inning, rather. Right after Soto hit that RBI single to get the first run on the board. And then in came Mesgill. He's 0 for 2 so far on the day. So it's off with a 2-0 count against Doherty, who has his 20th pitch incoming right here. And make it a 3-0. Doherty throwing a Socorro behind the plate. Had that costly error before. Kings with 5 errors on the day compared to the Generals 3. That one nearly hitting Mesgill. It might have, but we won't know because no matter what, it was a ball, and he's taking his base.
Number 1, right fielder Mark Elliott.
Brings on Mark Elliott. He has 1 hit on the day. He's 1 for 3. He's got a man on first, looking to get some insurance runs here. There's 2 outs on the board. But we know the Generals can get hot. And we've seen it so far in this one. First pitch is a fastball a little too far inside from Doherty. So the 1-0 count here for Mark Elliott. Like I said, at a .417 average in his junior season with Westchester University. Along with a triple and a homer on his 10 hits. 11 RBIs as well. Walked 4 times, struck out 4 times. And tagged on a couple stolen bases. That one comes in there and hits Elliott on the leg, and it's the second base runner in a row after getting 2 straight outs.
Number 5, the DH, Logan Eilbach.
Brings on Logan Albacher. We know what he's capable of. So far this summer, still trying to get the hang of things in that Generals uniform. The Landmark Conference Rookie of the Year from his past freshman season at Catholic University in the spring. Whole lot of balls from Daugherty. He's really struggling to find the zone here in the bottom of the 8th. Despite the 1 strikeout he had. Another one. It's a fastball a little too far outside, so a 2-0 count for Logan Albacher, who has walked a couple times so far this season, walked once before as well in this game. It was his second on the year, to be exact. That fastball is finally in there. Looked similar to the couple before, but it was just a foot, or maybe even just a few inches closer to the strike zone, and it was close enough. So here's the 2-1 with 2 runners on. Mezgel over there on second. Swing and a miss there and a 2-2 count. Daugherty's fighting back. Elliott on first and Mezgel on second. The 5'11", 195-pound center fielder here for the Generals is up at the plate. Swung on, and it is caught barehanded from Daugherty. It was a weak little fly ball, line drive, whatever you want to call it. But it stayed in the air and levitated right to Daugherty's pitching hand. And the lefty pitcher makes the lefty catch. Not something you could say too often. So with that, a couple runners are left stranded. Generals still have a 6-4 lead. Kings have 3 outs to work with in the top of the 9th. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a movie finish here at Moody Park.
Fielder, number 40, Peter Longo.
Welcome you back here. It's the top of the 9th at Moody Park between the South Jersey Kings and the Trenton Generals. Kings trail by 2, and they have 3 outs left to work with. Up at the plate is Peter Longo, who was hit by a pitch earlier, but has not gotten a hit yet today. 0 for 2. Looking at a 1-1 count after that pitch from James Waters, who now in his 4th inning Has pitched just 37 times. And he and this Generals fielding have looked very solid, along with Andrew Kleppinger, of course. But Waters, no hits yet allowed. 2 runs came home while he was on the mound. None of them were earned. And he gets a strikeout to start things off here in the top of the 9th. Swinging a miss there.
Number 2, second baseman Antonio Friedman.
From Peter Longo. And that brings on Antonio Friedman, who has yet to get on base today. He's 0 for 3. Waters has allowed no hits so far today. He's looking to keep it that way. First fastball is a little too high for Friedman. Heading off to Middlesex County College for his freshman season. He's got a 1-0 count, and here is the 1-0. Right down Broadway, 1-1. James Waters heading into his freshman season at Alvernia University. A good eye on that one for the 2-1 count. And make it a 3-1. Waters looking to fight back. A 3 up, 3 down would be one heck of a way to end off this game, especially with how both these pitchers have played between Kleppinger and Waters. That one is popped up. Cheeseman looking to get under it, and Cheeseman makes the catch after making one final adjustment for out number 2. One more left to go here for the Generals.
Number 9, the DH, Trevor Myers.
We'll have a little engineering work as I possibly call the final out here. Going to get this camera up, we hope, for you folks to see the end of this game. It's Trevor Myers up at the plate. He's 0 for 3 so far today. He's starting off with a called strike. Another Middlesex County College guy, and there you see him. That one's going to be popped up. She's been looking to get under it. It will be fouled, so an 0-2 count now instead. And one more pitch possibly for James Waters. In his 4th inning of work, less than 50 pitches. And boy, have he and his fellow pitching partner, Andrew Kleppinger, been the difference makers here in this one. Swing and a miss there from Trevor Myers, and it's all over. The Trenton Generals take home the win here on this Tuesday night of ECCBL action.
Your final score tonight, the Generals 6, the Kings 4.
The Generals take just their 2nd win over the Kings here this summer, and their 1st win in the past 3 games. Put an end to their 2-game losing streak while the Kings fall to 3 straight losses so far on the year. We saw that 17-15 game where the Generals beat the Kings a couple weeks ago. Not exactly as high scoring, but still another 2-run win for the Gens here tonight at Moody Park. And what a game it was.
The final line score for our game this evening.
And as we figure out
5 hits and 3 errors for the Kings, 4 runs, 3 hits.
who exactly
5 errors. Time of our game, 2 hours.
our Toyota player of the game will be, I believe, we're going to be giving it to James Waters, the man who you just saw end off the game.
And we ask that you please arrive home safely.
Waters
Good night, everybody.
had nearly 4 innings pitched, faced 13 batters in those 3 2/3 innings pitched, On his 47 pitches, 27 of them were strikes, and he threw a no-hitter. Along with no earned runs, he walked only one batter and struck out 3 of them. So James Waters is your Toyota Player of the Game here tonight from Moody Park. The Generals improved to 7-10-1, while the Kings fall to 7-10-1. They're all tied up and tied for 3rd in the South of the ECCBL Southern Division. We thank you so much for watching tonight. We hope you enjoyed the game as much as we did. This has been Ben Chadwick taking you through the game, and this is Ben Chadwick saying good night from Moody Park. We'll see you tomorrow night.